By the end of this video, you are going to fully understand and be excited about skills. Skills allow you to set up workflows using AI tools like Claude and Codex. If you understand skills, your productivity with AI is going to skyrocket. Some people don't understand skills or think that they're worth the time to set up, but I can assure you that they are. To demonstrate what I mean as an example, and you're going to be able to extrapolate this to just about anything you want to create, let's use one of the skills built into Claude called the Slack GIF Creator. So I'm sending the prompt to create a smiling moon. And one thing that's cool about Claude is it is going to automatically use the relevant skill. So it knew what skills we have, and it's reading the skill right now to understand how to create Slack GIFs. So this is what I mean by skills being an instruction manual. So now it's creating the script. And again, this was in the instruction manual of the skill of how to do it. And if we just did this without the skill, we would not get nearly as good of a result. And this is just an example, as I mentioned, where skills get really powerful is when you start bringing in your own specific use cases, your own context, and your own data to solve your own problems. The other cool thing about skills is because they're essentially just a file, you can export them and import them to tools. So you could use this on Claude and then export the skill and use it on Codex as well. And here we have a result, a 128 by 128 pixel smiling crescent moon, Slack ready at 30 kilobytes. And this is a fun skill that if you go into Claude, go into skills, and then click browse skills, you'll be able to see it as a default here under the skills directory. Next, I'm going to show you this cool algorithmic art skill created by Anthropic. So we're going to stick in the art theme, and then later on, I'm going to talk about some other really cool skills that you can set up that are going to be a little bit more productivity based. But just to show you what a skill is made up of, a skill is essentially a folder. So we can see this is a folder called algorithmic art. Inside that folder, we have a file called skill.md. This is a markdown file. This is basically the core of the instruction. So you can think of it as kind of an instruction manual telling the AI what to do. So it's saying first create an algorithmic philosophy. And then it's giving us some examples of how to generate an algorithmic philosophy, basically create its plan. And then it's telling us how to use this p5.js, which is JavaScript, to implement and actually build it out. You can see step 0, read the template first. It's saying critical. Read the template. So this means go into the template file, and we can see there is a template here that is a part of this skill folder. So we have a folder inside of the folder, which is how to generate the template. And then there's a viewer that we can use to actually edit the algorithmic art. And we're going to see what this looks like in a second. So let's try it out. Let's go back to our message here, our chat. And I'm just going to say, use the algorithmic art skill to create a piece of art. Again, we don't have to actually do a slash command. Although you can, if you do slash, you can see the skills come up, but you can just say kind of what you want to create, and then it's going to know what skills you have and then use it automatically. So we can see here, now it's reading the viewer.html template that I must use as the starting point. So it's doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing. You can see here, it's creating the algorithmic philosophy markdown file. And this is what I mean by the skills just allow us to get a much better result than if we just shared this simple prompt. It just wouldn't work. So this allows us to create repeatable tasks that AI agents can complete for you. You can also download skills off the internet or create skills yourself on Claude. And I'm going to show you how to do both. So here we are on a website called skillsdirectory.com. There are a lot of websites like this. Something that you should be aware of is when you're downloading skills off the internet, you have to be really careful. We can see here that they do promise security, or they've scanned many of them, which is really important and helpful and does make me feel more comfortable about downloading skills off of this website. But skills are instructions, and those instructions could have exploits to basically tell your agent to share your private information. Since agents have access to a lot of things, it could be connected to your Google Drive, for example. So it's really important to read over skills that you download from the internet. But if you want to do that, if you want to download the skills off the internet, you can just download the zip file and then upload that zip into Claude. If you're using via Claude Code, you can just copy this command, but you can also just download the zip file and upload it. So it's very easy to go into any of these skills online, download it, upload it. Again, you need to be really careful about security, or you can actually create skills here inside of Claude. So I'm going to show you how to do that in a second as well. Something else you should be aware of inside the Claude app is you can use skills on Claude Cowork. You can use skills inside of Claude Code, and you can use skills in chat, which is what we're doing right now. So the Claude skills that are uploaded to your Claude account could be used across their 3 products. Okay, so it created this algorithmic art, and I can open it up. And what's cool about Claude is that it has a little browser that we can preview here on the right side. So here, this is kind of what we saw before, but we didn't see the actual art. So this is pretty cool that we're seeing it. But what we can do is we can actually change the art by playing with these parameters here. And this was part of the template that was in the skill. So that's how the skill knew to do this. And we can also change this seed. So this is where it's algorithmic, and it's going to be random depending on what that seed number is. Okay, so that is a cool example of using a skill. But what I want to show you now is how to create your own skill. So all I'm going to do is send a prompt that says, please create a skill for me that I can use to generate a newsletter on the latest news about any baseball team I ask for. So you could think about this for anything. This is just one example that I'm sharing. So it's using the skill creator skill, which is a skill that's built into Claude to basically help us create the skill. It's funny, it's checking another one of our skills as a reference. And now it's going to ask us some questions so that it knows how it should create the file. So I'm going to say markdown file can be the result. What section should every newsletter include? Let's say recent games, injury, standings and playoff, upcoming schedule, notable player. Let's just do everything. I like all of the options that they said. And I want the tone to be fun and casual fan voice. And I'm going to show you the power of this. So because we're creating this skill, we'll never have to answer those questions again. We are going to be able to just put a simple prompt and get the result, and you're going to see what I mean. And I'm going to show you how to take it to the next level and easily make changes to the skill so that if you want to make changes to that skill in the future, it'll be updated for every time in the future that you want to do that. So here it's writing the baseball newsletter skill. Okay, so the skill is now built. On the right side, we can see that skill.md file that it created. To install it, what's nice about Claude is we can either download it and upload it into the skills directory or just save the skill. And now it's going to be saved inside of our skill directory. So it built a few things into it: source citation, seasonal awareness, casual voice. It built a structure. So let's try it out. I'll open a new chat and I'll send off a prompt, create a newsletter about the New York Jets. You can see it's reading the baseball newsletter skill to understand exactly what it should do. It's gathering the latest Mets news through searches. So here we have our newsletter, and we can see it's in the style and tone that we asked for. It has all of the sections that we asked for. And then we could copy and paste this into our email newsletter software. Now, what I want to show you next is how to make changes to this skill. So let's say I don't want emojis in the email. Updates this skill. So it's as simple as that, giving feedback to the skill. Then it's going to update the skill. So that's interesting. It tells us that the skill file is in a read-only location. So we actually have to go into the actual file. It's telling us exactly what to replace. Replace this with this. So let's actually do it. Let me show you how to go in and manually update the skill here. So you're going to go to Customize on the left side. We're going to click Skill. Under Baseball Newsletter, we're going to go ahead and click Edit. Or we can click Edit with Claude. And now it's going to work because it's going to say use the skill creator. So why don't we try this, Edit with Claude. So I'm going to say update. So it says not to use emojis. So let's use this edit with Claude feature and see if this actually works. Because before it wasn't working, but maybe if it reads the skill creator instructions, it will actually be able to. Okay, so now it created the new skill, repackage it. So all we have to do is click save and we can upload and replace. So the skill creator in Claude knew how to actually go in and successfully create a new skill that we can replace it with. And then if we run that skill again, the new newsletter is not going to have those emojis. The final skill I'm going to talk about here, which is really cool, that's in Claude, is the canvas design skill. So as you can see, this is a skill.md file. It's fonts. So basically what this is helping the AI make sure that what it creates looks good and is within this design style. And there's some interesting things like final step, important. The user already said it isn't perfect enough. It must be pristine and masterpiece as if it were about to be displayed in a museum. So to show you what this looks like, I can say create an HTML email design template, please, using the canvas design skill. So it's reading the canvas design skill. So it says it's not really meant for HTML, CSS, but I'm going to say use it anyway to mock the look as a PNG PDF because I want to show basically what this skill is capable of. So before I start, it's going to ask some questions. I'm on newsletter, editorial, minimal, and editorial. So here, this is following the instructions of the skill. This is in that skill.md file. First, it's checking design philosophy. It's creating its own design philosophy for the design. Now it's building the mockup as an SVG to PNG, which I'm actually kind of curious to see how well AI is going to be at doing this, of creating this mockup in an SVG. And while it's rendering that, I just want to show you here in Codex, there is a skills page very similar to Claude, where we can create a skill. We can do that literally in the same way. It has its own skill creator skill built in to help create a skill. So everything that we're doing in Claude is going to be very transferable to Codex as well. This is also cool to see. The skill is emphatic about a refinement path. So it's looking at what it created first. It sees there's problems. So it's, okay, for example, the text is bleeding off the right edge. So it is fixing it based on what it saw. So this like self-improving loop is a really cool thing to build into skills, especially if you're building your own and are starting from scratch. So here we have our email. This is a PNG, so it created in PNG. We also have it in PDF form. It looks awesome, actually. This is really cool. It created a really nice template, which we could then take this, download it, and put it into the email newsletter skill if we wanted. Or we could then say, hey, convert this to HTML and put that HTML template into the email newsletter skill. So there's a lot we could do here. But this is really cool. Really, really impressive, actually. If you're watching this video, I know you would enjoy reading the 2-minute brief for AI builders that we put together every day. Our AI reads 100 updates every day, and we condense it down to the 3 that matter. Click the link in the description. You'll get the very next one. It's sent daily. I read it every morning. It's super helpful for me to understand what's happening in the world of AI. And if you enter your email, we'll send you a free database of 59 validated AI startup ideas worth 50 hours of research the moment you subscribe. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed learning about skills. If there's anything you want me to cover in the future, let me know in the comments. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to get more free AI content like this, and we'll see you in the next video.